Yo, 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 this is Sol, also known as SPL Gamma, also known as Spatial Gamma, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this Team Skull Grunt. And guys, in this video, we talk about Volo and Togepi. This is a fairy type field sync pair with an EX role of tech. And yes, we only have 4 new sync pairs this month, which is supposed to be a good thing, a great thing. Unfortunately, our gem count is not great. So if you haven't seen the gem count yet, the link will be down there in the description. And if you want to know more about the other sync pairs in, this update, I have a video for you guys. I talk about the summary of all 4 sync pairs in this 1 out of 5 or 9 out of 5 video. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna discuss Volo's entire thing. 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies, and as a Pokefair, he also has grid tiles to unlock at 4 copies and 5 copies. Now, his EX role is tech. And every single time you're able to scout for him in his Pokefair banner, you get 4 tech roll cake coins. And if you're able to get 5 copies by wailing on his banner, you can exchange those 20 tech roll cake coins for a tech roll cake, and you can give that to him and unlock his EX roll, which should make his sync move 1.5 times stronger. And without the EX roll, just by 6-star EXing him, you can bring in Fairy Zone. Before using your sync move, it will bring in Fairy Zone. Your sync move is going to be powered up by Fairy Zone, and that sync move or that Fairy Zone will be extended a little bit longer than the usual Fairy Zone. Now, there are not a lot of Fairy Zone setters in the game. We have, Signasuit Wally was the very first sync pair with Fairy Zone. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the next sync pair to have Fairy Zone jump immediately to Signasuit How. After Signasuit How, we had Signasuit Mina with Fairy Zone as well. And then after Signasuit Mina, if I am not mistaken, the next and the last sync pair to get Fairy Zone is yourself, Player and Sylveon, the Eggmon Sylveon with Fairy Zone. But if I miss anyone, let me know in the comment section. So this is the 5th sync pair to bring in Fairy Zone. 5th sync pair to bring in Fairy Zone, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not a lot because, well, How is an electric type nuker. Mina is a supporter, which not really known to deal damage. Yes, Signasuit Wally is pretty powerful. And then you have your Eggmon, which does not have any sync grid expansion. So here we go with a 5 out of 5, field unit, which can bring in Fairy Zone twice. When is this twice? And before that, guys, check out the dates. He's coming out tomorrow. That is on Good Friday. And the last day you can scout for him is on April 17. So good luck if you're scouting. This banner does not stay for a long time. Only like 18 days and his banner is gonna go away. So that's roughly less than 3 weeks as compared to the other 2, Barry and Celine, which I do not understand why cosplay units have a longer time span than the Pokefair units. But I guess that's what bait units are supposed to do. They're just supposed to stay for a very short time to drain your gems or something like that. Anyway, guys, so let's talk about the kit. And before that, I would like to thank Absol-utely, Lost Mode, and the Third Awakening for designing this, because I do not have time to design my own infographics right now. And tomorrow I will be gone. So, level 150 stats, you can see that the attack stat, the special attack stat is similar because you will be using Metronome. His body move is Metronome a lot. And that's going to shift from a physical attack to a special attack. And depending on which, you use the attack stat or special attack stat. Defenses-wise, 198, not too horrible. Speed stat, pretty low, but it's okay because you're only using a 1-move gauge attack or a 2-move gauge attack with your, normal attack and stuff. This is a fairy type again, and it is weak to steel. And as for the passive skills, you have Peak Curiosity. The good thing about this is your attacks will never miss no matter what the opponent does. No matter how evasive the opponent is, no matter how low your accuracy stat is, your moves will never miss. This includes very low accuracy attacks, like if, for example, Absolutely was not sure about this one, but Metronome possibly includes Fissure. And Fissure, if I'm not mistaken, is a 30% accuracy attack, one-hit KO. Very, 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 very rare chance of occurring. But if it occurs, you will never miss that Fissure because of your passive skill, Pink Curiosity. Now, it says over here, when the user uses normal type attacks, those moves become fairy type moves. Now, what are his normal attacks? Your Metronome is a normal type status move. What else is a normal type attack? You have Giga Impact, Hyper Beam. The rest are different types of attacks. Now, not sure if the passive skill actually changes Blast Burn, Inferno, Hydro Cannon, Frenzy Plant, Zap Cannon, Dynamic Punch, Gong Shot, Mega Horn into Fairy type attacks. If it does, it's gonna be funny because Blast Burn will become a Fairy type attack that burns the opponent or something like, not Blast Burn, Inferno. Or Zap Cannon is a Fairy type attack that can paralyze the opponent. Something like that. If it happens, if it changes all attacks of Metronome into Fairy type attacks. Otherwise, Giga Impact and Hyper Beam, as you can see over here, first two moves with Masterful Metronome will become Fairy type attacks. And then the moment you use your first Masterful Metronome, it will bring in Fairy Zone. I said earlier you can bring in Fairy Zone twice. The first one is by using Masterful Metronome. The second one is by using your Sync move as soon as your 6-star EX. You can bring in Metronome, or rather Fairy Zone, which will be extended a little bit in duration. And those are the only two times you can bring in Fairy Zone. As for the current setup we can see over here. Later, we're gonna check his sync grid and see if it could extend or bring back Metronome in, or rather Fairy Zone in some other way. Second passive skill is Business Opportunity. Every single time you are able to hit an opponent, you get to lower one random stat, either attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, accuracy, or evasiveness. That means if you use Dazzling Gleam, which hits every single opponent, you get to lower every single opponent's stats. If you use Metronome, mostly these moves in Metronome only hit one opponent. So that will decrease that opponent you're targeting stats. But I have a question. The second part of his passive skill says, charges the user's move gauge by 1 when its attack move hits. Maybe Dazzling Gleam, when you attack all opponents, 1 move gauge per opponent. That means you use 2 move gauges and recover 3 move gauges back. Maybe. Or you just recover 1 move gauge. Either way, it's not gonna be an issue with the move gauge for this one because it's like move gauge refresh 9 all the way. And you have a third passive skill which applies to all your allied sync pairs. If you have a field or a circle in your allied field of play, how many circles do we have? We have Unova Circle, we have Sinnoh Circle, we have Kanto Circle, we have Johto Circle, you know, Johto Pride. What was it? Johto? No, not Johto Pride. Johto something. You know, there are attack circles now and defensive circles, with Sinnoh Solidarity being the very first Sinnoh defensive circle. So what this does is that normally circles, the offensive circles that we have, physical rather, something physical circle. I'm not sure if we have something special circle already. I forgot if Pikachu, like Chase, has Kanto special circle, or was it Kanto? But all his moves are special attacks, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, normally those circles power up your offenses more than your defenses. Sinnoh Solidarity is the other way around. It powers up your defenses more, but it also powers up your offenses. Maximum of 20% power up increase for your offenses, and maximum defenses increase 25%. This doesn't care if you are using special attacks or normal attacks or special sync moves or normal sync moves. Every single thing will be powered up. Plus, it also applies physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect to all allied sync pairs, which makes your attacks, any attack, become 40% stronger. Now, you have Masterful Metronome, as we said earlier. This is your buddy move. You can unlock this by using Dazzling Gleam once. And then Masterful Metronome will be unlocked. You use it, it will lock itself again. And you'll have to use Dazzling Gleam again to unlock Masterful Metronome. And you use that again. And so on and so forth. You just, rotate between those two attacks. And what Masterful Metronome does is fun. First, it uses a random move out of this list above me. So if you want a zoomed in version, it rotates between Giga Impact, Hyper Beam, Blast Burn, Inferno, Hydro Cannon, Frenzy Plant, Zap Cannon, Dynamic Punch, Gong Shot, Mega Horn, and maybe Fissure. And out of these attacks over here, again, there are two normal type attacks. That's Giga Impact and Hyper Beam. Not sure if only those two are going to become Fairy type attacks or even Blast Burn, Inferno, blah, blah, blah. I already said that. Number two, it will cause one of several effects at random. So these are the effects that you can see. So 16.7 or 6% chance of bringing in either move gauge acceleration, physical damage reduction, special damage reduction, critical hit defense, stat reduction defense, status condition defense. Now, these can pile up on top of each other. Imagine doing a battle with permanent field conditions. So every single time you use Metronome, it will rotate between all these and it will pile up one by one as long as the effect is not yet gone. A second effect, maybe a third effect, a fourth effect, a fifth effect will pile up. But again, it's going to be randomized. It's possible that you get double move gauge acceleration, but your move gauge is going to remain the same anyway. Or double physical move damage reduction. Or physical and special damage reduction and so on and so forth. It's going to be fun to use this sync pair. Last but not the least, you also give yourself and all your allies physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect. Someone who does this is Champion Rosa, which is very fun. Relic Song of Wonder gives everyone physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect. But for Champion Rosa, you can use Relic Song of Wonder unlimited number of times in a row as long as your HP is not all the way down. This one, you'll have to rotate between Masterful Metronome, Dazzling Gleam, Masterful Metronome, Dazzling Gleam. Either way, you get to raise those physical moves up next effect or special moves up next effect. Now, just in case you do something like Dazzling Gleam, Masterful Metronome, you trigger Hyper Beam. All right, that's a special attack. Your physical moves up next effect goes up 1. Your special moves up next effect goes up +1. And then you use up the special moves up next effect because you use a special attack Hyper Beam. And you keep rotating through the special attacks. So you use Hyper Beam, Blast Burn, Inferno, Hydro Cannon, Zap Cannon, and the physical attack physical moves up next effect goes up, keeps going up to +10. And then suddenly you hit the opponent with a Giga Impact. Boom! +10 special moves up next effect. Super strong, opponent dead. The best thing about this one, this is only a 1 move gauge attack. These attacks over here are 4 move gauge attacks, guys. Giga Impact, Hyper Beam, Blast Burn, all of them are 4 move gauge attacks, but Masterful Metronome, only 1 move gauge. It will never miss. It will bring in one of these status conditions. It will give you a physical moves up next effect and special moves up next effect. Very, very, very nice sync pair. And very nice attack. Last but not the least, you have your trainer move. This is an investment. And you can use this on any ally to raise their attack stat and special attack stat to +4 and maximize their critical hit rate. You can use this on yourself Or if you get an MP refresh, which we'll discuss later in a bit, when the MP refresh will be coming out, you can use this on any ally just to max them out. And that's it for this one, guys. So again, by 6-star EXing him, you can bring in a Fairy Zone, extended Fairy Zone, and that's it. By making him EX roll, giving him that, you get to multiply your sync move damage by 1.5 times damage. But in terms of built-in sync move multipliers, you have Circle Team sync moves up 3. So that will power up your sync move just as long as you have any circle in play. So you have a lot of built-in multipliers. You have Fairy Zone to power up your fairy type attacks. You have your circle itself, which will power up your sync move by how many percent? By 20%. And then you have your circle team sync moves up 3, which will power up your sync move by another 30%. So a lot of multipliers built in immediately for this one, as long as you have your circle and as long as you have your, Fairy Zone. Now, let's talk about the grid. And I would like to thank STDK12 for these tools. And at 1 out of 5, you got Unflappable. Pretty basic. 2 out of 5, you get Dazzling Gleam, Move Gauge Refresh. Quick Cure, Gobsmack 4 to leave the opponent confused, 50%. Sync Regen to give you a gradual healing. Circle Move Gauge, speeds up the move gauge. Circle attack move damage reduction to lower the damage you receive. This is interesting. All right. Trainer move, MP refresh 2. So, if you want an MP refresh, if you want to max out your attack, your special attack stat, or you want to buff up every other sync pair, 2 out of 5 is the way to go. And then this is a new one. Not super effective moves up 2. If the opponent is not weak to that type of attack that you use, it will become stronger by 20%. This is interesting. This is nice for off-typing, I guess. And then Buddy Move or B Metronome Move Gauge Refresh 3. It's only a 1 move gauge attack anyway. And then Whimsical Acceleration if the field is Fairy Zone speeds up the move gauge. So that is 2 out of 5. Very interesting, not super effective thing. 3 out of 5, you unlock some multipliers. You unlock super duper effective 5. This time, if the move is super effective, you power it up. Brain Sync 5, if your special attack stat is raised by even +1, your sync move is going to be 50% stronger. You have a sync move power up tile. Sync Free for All gives everyone a free move next the first time you use your sync move. Overwhelm 9, every single time you attack the opponent, their attack stat will go down -1. Perfect for Dazzling Gleam. Also can trigger for your Metronome. And then you have Trainer Move Attack Up and Special Attack Up 9. If you do this, if you use this on any other sync pair other than yourself, that sync pair, you buff their special attack and attack stat +4, right? And their critical hit rate +3, plus you buff yourself up. You buff Volo up. Attack +1, special attack stat +1. So if you use your trainer move on yourself, you buff up your attack and special attack stat +5 instead of +4, and you give yourself critical hit maxed out. Soften Up 1 just guarantees that you'll be able to land a critical hit with your sync move as long as you have raised your critical hit rate by at least 1 or 2. Guarantees you critical hit sync move all the time. And then you have Sinnoh Circle Defensive Extension 3. To extend the duration of your Sinnoh Circle so that you don't have to keep using Sinnoh Circle, get this 3 out of 5. And Satisfied Slinker over here. Together with Overwhelm 9 lowers the opponent's attack stat. Satisfied Slinker 9 lowers the opponent's special attack stat. So becomes a kind of like a debuffer. Now, at 4 copies, you have Head Start 1 to reduce their sync move countdown at the start of the battle. And the other one is Trainer Move move on ally, physical boost up 1 and special boost up 1. So it will give that allied sync pair a physical moves up next effect and a special moves up next effect if you want this. And then last but not the least, you have 5 out of 5 with Fairy Zone team attack damage or attack move damage reduction to reduce the damage you receive. If there's Fairy Zone, take note you have 2 tiles that can reduce damage you receive. Fairy Zone team attack move damage reduction 2 and circle attack move damage reduction 2. This one applies for circles. This one applies for Fairy Zone. And last but not the least, you have Sundering 9, which if you hit the opponent, you get to lower their defense or special defense or both when you attack an opponent. So, could be a nice debuffer kit over here with these tiles. So, let's see how we can make him a pure debuffer. So, we can get this, and then we can get Overwhelm 9 over here. We can get Satisfied Snicker over here. What's a cheaper version of this sync grid? Something like this. And if you want, you can try and get Sundering 9. That's 10 energy. This is 10 energy also. Very expensive. Can we do something like... this is cheaper a little bit. Can we get this? Alright. That's enough. So, this is a 5 out of 5 purely debuffing kit. Overwhelm 9, Satisfied Sneaker 9, and Sundering 9. Every single time you attack the opponent, you get to lower their attack stat -1, defense, rather special attack stat -1, and defense or special defense or both -1 with every attack you do on the opponent. Plus, you have an MP refresh for your trainer move so that you can buff up either Volo or any other sync pair, make them stronger. Again, you can now expand the energy, but that's quite expensive. This is 5 out of 5, guys. Sundering 9 is only available at 5 out of 5. You can completely ignore this. Satisfied Snicker 9 and Overwhelm 9, I think, is a good thing for the buffing. Now, this is a Sync Nuke build. So we have Overwhelm 9 just because I got 2 Sync Nuke tiles over here. Sync Move Power Up plus 25, plus 25. We got Brain Sync 5, which is actually the only multiplier that he has in his sync grid. But we can probably remove this Overwhelm 9 and just extend the Sinnoh circle over here. So we can get this. And in order to do this, we need 3 energy. And we can expand 3 energy by spending some sync grid or co-op sync orbs in order to unlock this. So you get to extend your Sinnoh circle, Sinnoh defensive circle. You get to power up your sync moves. I got to power up my special attack stat to maximum. Those are, well, not all, but most of the special attack tiles that we can unlock with his grid. And yeah, we can get to dish out much damage. So let's compute the damage that he can actually do. Now, for the lucky skill, you know, nowadays you have special lucky skills for your sync pairs. His lucky skill is Unfortuitous for his personal lucky skill. So if you get this, if you give him the tiles, you can get, or you can, if you get this lucky skill for him, every single time you attack the opponent, 50% chance of lowering a random stat. But for the sake of getting Critical Strike 2 instead for damage, let's check the damage that he can do. So this can bring the opponent's weak to Fairy. Can you give yourself super effective up next effect? I don't think so. I haven't seen anything like that. You can bring in Fairy Zone. You can bring in a Sinnoh defensive circle over here. So that's Sinnoh defensive circle. And then let's just assume that he is alone. No other sync pair to help him with that. And then again, Fairy Zone, Sinnoh defensive circle, 1 sync pair, no super effective up next. We make him 6-star EX. And our stats are raised. Let's calculate the damage. The sync move is gonna be 3,096,522. Now, I'm not sure if this is already counting if we have, let's try and remove the circle. 2,390,000. So with the circle, it's definitely stronger. But I'm not sure if that's the innate circle multiplier. Or, he also has a passive skill, which is this one. Circle team sync moves up 3. I'm not sure if this applies to this thing over here. But just in case, that's the damage, guys. So let me just put that again. Calculate and bring in that Sinnoh circle for a 3,096,000 something 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 damage. Now, if we give him the Tech EX roll, calculate the damage, that means 4,599,413. And that is Volo. That is Volo. At 3 copies with the Nuke tiles. Now, this is another 5 out of 5 thing that I did for him. So this is a... What is this anyway? So this, we could do a multiplier thing with the trainer move MP refresh with Sundering 9 over here and Gobsmack 4 and something like that. You have to expand some energy over here in order to get this. But anyway, those are just samples. But that is Volo, guys. That is Volo and Togepi. Not a lot of multipliers. If you're looking for the strongest fairy type nuker out there, it's not gonna be Volo and Togepi. I think Signasutwali might be a stronger nuker than Volo. Without looking at Signasutwali's kit, I think he's gonna be a stronger nuker. But that aside, you want to use Masterful Metronome. And Masterful Metronome can bring in a lot of things. In fact, there is no metronome over here. There's no calculation because it's just gonna be messy. And just, if you want to use that, if you want to get Volo, you just want to have fun with Masterful Metronome anyway. So that is about it, guys. That is our little analysis for Volo and Togepi. Let me know in the comments section if you want to scout for him. If you are aiming for the fairy type high score event, it's gonna come out soon. It's been announced. You'll have an easier time if you have another fairy type sync pair in your team. There's not a lot of fairy types, so you can get Volo and Togepi over here. And with that said, negative sides, well, not exactly a lot, except the biggest negative side is we do not have a lot of gems this month. It is an all-time low for our gem count. That's the biggest negative side to this month and to these sync pairs out there. Volo, one more good thing about scouting for Volo is that you have a trainer lodge. You get to invite him to the trainer lodge as soon as you are able to scout. And you get another sync pair, Volo and Gible. So you get 2 sync pairs for the price of hopefully not getting shafted. Because if you get shafted, well, good luck to your gems. Because we do not receive a lot of gems this month. And until then, guys, that is it for our analysis. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button for me for the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I do Pokemon Masters videos every day naman. I scout live. I'm just not sure if I'll be able to scout live this time because I'll be in the province for Holy Week for a little vacation because I don't have vacation from my job normally. And if you want to help me out with my future further studies, I'm a teacher and this is further studies for me. You can go to my coffee.com/splgum page. Help me out with my Animal Flow mentorship. Or click the join button down below and become a member of this awesome channel. Together with these amazing people, thank you guys so very much for your kindness and generosity. Huge shout out to my purple 3-year members, red 2-year members, yellow 1-year member, and to the rest, thank you guys so very much. And until then, I will see you in the next video. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, your artist Team Skull Grunt. I will see you soon. Rawr.